welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I am Theodore Henry. This week, we have a very informative show lined up just for you as we tackle topics relating to safety and public order. You don't want to miss a beat, so stay tuned as the magazine unfolds.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
Today we're joined by Superintendent of Police Gary Mackenzie as he discusses matters of public safety and public order.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF, 1 year ago launched the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB. Now, the objective is to improve the safety of citizens as well as restore and to maintain public order. To tell us about the measures being used to curb the indiscipline on our roads and in the public spaces in general is Gary Mackenzie, who is Superintendent of Police in the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch. SP Mackenzie, thank you so much for joining us and Get the Facts.
Thank you for having me. Good day.
So that's a big title that your department has, your branch. Tell us, what do you mean by public order and safety? What are we talking about here?
Well, what we are talking about as we speak about safety is it is all encompassing because it says that we are responsible to ensure that citizens are able to go about their business safely. That is, we have to ensure that they come to no harm. And the branch itself looks at dealing with this on the roadways within business districts, within other public areas such as transportation hubs and so on. As it relates to order, this has to be done within an organized way. And so in terms of managing traffic flow, in terms of ensuring that their citizens come to no harm whilst they do their business, that is what we are about.
Excellent. So tell me about some of the measures that you use to achieve order and safety.
Well, certainly enforcement plays a big role, but even before we do that, ensuring that we are out there being visible, putting on this management posture and ensuring that persons recognize what we are about is very important. Mm-hmm. And this, of course, increase the confidence that the public will have as it relates to how we police. Once things are not in order, then we have to take control, we have to educate, we have to enforce the laws where necessary to ensure that this is maintained.
How do you educate?
Well, certainly we do that through media. We do that through collaboration with other entities. We have our road safety unit that goes within schools. We also go within communities. Of course, we collaborate with other geographic entities or widely publicized meetings, stakeholder meetings, and so on. So we educate persons through those media.
What are some of the violations that pedestrians, people general in open spaces and on the road, what are some of the violations that people can be ticketed for?
Well, as it relates to pedestrians, we really can't take any law enforcement action in terms of issuance of tickets. But what we find is that we have quite a few accidents involving pedestrians because of lack of proper usage on our roads, meaning that they sometimes cross at corners in front and behind large vehicles. And so education is key in terms of ensuring that our pedestrians understand how to use the road safely. There are other breaches committed by drivers of motor vehicles in that they fail to observe and stop at pedestrian crossings. Some are very discourteous, and so where they commit breaches, we prosecute. For example, if they fail to observe and stop at a pedestrian crossing, that is an offense, and we deal with that. But our vigilance and enforcement helps to ensure that persons are able to safely use our thoroughfare.
Yes, yes. When PSEB was launched last August, it was National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang said that you had a few roles that he wanted you to zero in, such as limiting access to roadways of criminals, also to cut down road accidents and track the threat of criminals. How is that going? How do you grade yourself on those?
Well, I think that we
areas?
have had a substantial effect, certainly within the Kingston and region. We have been able to occupy our main supply routes, and by virtue of our presence, and when we speak about presence, we speak of active presence. So our vehicular checkpoints, our patrol of the areas, our checking of documents and licenses, running it through our police emergency to check for warrants, to check if these persons are wanted, have allowed us to deter the movement of criminals. We continue to do that. Of course, it is very important to note that at PSTEB, there are a number of strategies that we use, and that, of course, includes our motorcycle patrols, that we deal with traffic management, interception of vehicles. We also have our foot patrols within the public spaces, such as the business districts. We have our highway safety patrols, and we have our bicycle patrols as well to go in and out.
You still have bicycle
of those.
patrols? I'm not seeing those.
We do.
Yes.
And so we continue to use those methodologies to support and assist within our very tight areas in terms of where the public traverse.
You did say something about major supply routes? What
Right.
are those?
Well, those routes are really our main arterial roads, where we have commercial activities, we have the movement of buses and so on. So these routes are very important to us as a country because, they traffic vehicles that carry supplies in and out of the corporate area and across the country. Criminals like to use speed to move about and so on. So we slow them down this way, and we continue to use other strategies to ensure that persons are safe.
Okay, unruly drivers, illegal taxi drivers, illegal stopping, illegal starting. What methods are you using to address these issues?
Well, there are a multiplicity of methods that we use. One is that our presence out there deters some of them. We also enforce. We have to, of course, send the message across through education. But I want to say that in recent times, we have been getting some very good help from the public in terms of taking photos of some of these persons, because you know that as much as we like, we can't be on every street. But certainly it gives us the ability to be proactive as well. So the areas that we know that those offenses, there is a greater probability of them occurring there, then it assists us in informing us as to where we ought to place persons and so on. We try to be fluid, and we try to ensure that we listen to citizens. So we are always grateful of the feedback, of the suggestions, and we listen to those and we act as well.
Right. How can we give you feedback? Where do we send the feedback? Where do we call?
Well, the feedback can come through police emergency. It can also come to PSTEB headquarters at 928-1162. It can also go through the media houses. They have our contacts and they will get those messages to us.
Excellent, excellent. We take a break now and continue with a focus on the capacity of PSTEB to carry out its duties. Stay with us.
Did you know know that you can apply for a copy of your birth certificate online or by visiting any of the Registrar General's Department offices listed on their website? For ease of processing, there are several things you need to know about the person or child whose birth certificate you are applying for. Here's a checklist. Ensure you know the correct name and spelling of the person, as well as their mother and father. You will need their date and place of birth, which is usually the name of the hospital or location they were born. Parish of birth is also important. Find out also the birth entry number along with the date and place of registration for the adult or child. Remember, for additional information on how you can apply for a copy of your birth certificate or someone else's, contact the Registrar General's Department today.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We continue our discussion with Superintendent of Police Gary Mackenzie of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB. Thank you for staying with us. SP Mackenzie, PSTEB recently got 80 motorbikes. How will this help in your operations?
Well, certainly this will greatly enhance our visibility. We will also be strategically placing them across areas where we term bad spots. These are areas where we have had fatal accidents occurring. We will also utilize them to enhance our ability to further deter the movement of criminals and to ensure that persons traversing our public thoroughfares are safe.
Yes. You started with 700 members. How is that? How effective is that? And do you need more persons? And will you get more persons?
Well, we ensure that whatever numbers we have, we utilize them effectively. Sometimes it is not just about the numbers, but it is how effective you actually use them. That is one of the things that we continue to work on daily. As you are aware, there are a number of areas, there are a number of issues that we have to deal with. And so we prioritize and we judiciously place them to ensure that we get the best fit so that the public will see the benefits of it.
Yes. Your officers are specially trained, right? Can you tell us a little about that, the training?
Well, they have been trained in traffic management. They have been trained in terms of identifying offenses and so on. One of the things they are also trained on is traffic surveillance and road safety issues. And so we also have several other units. For example, there is the Accident Investigation and Reconstruction Unit that uses scientific methodology to reconstruct accidents and give technical evidence in court. We have the breathalyzer unit, we have the road safety unit, we have also our data and traffic ticketing department. So all of that come together, plus the officers who are out there on the streets doing highway patrols, motorcycle patrols, bicycle patrols, and so on. So it is pretty much a comprehensive branch.
Yes. As you talk about ticketing, there is complaints sometimes I get a ticket and I go to court. I didn't go to pay at the tax office, but I go to court. And when I go to court, the cost on the ticket is a lot more than it was initially. What would be the reason for that?
Well, when one gets a ticket, there's an option to pay or go to court. There is a set fine when a traffic ticket is issued. Once you get to court, that is handled by the judge. And from what I know, there is a range in terms of what can be charged and so on. So that's where the difference is.
Right. So if you don't pay the ticket at the tax office and you go to court, you should be paying the same amount if you're found guilty.
Well, that of course is determined by the judge. As I say, there's a range in terms of the fines, high and the low, depending on what the discussion is at the court. Then that decision is made by the judge.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit more about public safety and PSTEB's initiatives.
Well, certainly PSTEB, as was said earlier, is a branch that deals with public safety. and of course public order. And so when we talk about public safety, the branch has a wide reach. It started out within the corporate area, but it is seeking to expand across the entire country. And of course, we have to ensure that persons are not only safe in terms of moving from one place to another, but there are also issues of ensuring that they come to no harm. And so our highway patrol, it is one of our versatile patrols because it deals with high visibility, ensuring that persons are confident that the police is there and they are able to access them, but also to prevent and detect criminal activity, as also to ensure that there are no blockage or where the road traffic laws are breached, actions are taken. Yes. So we are responsible for that. On the other hand, the issue of public order, especially within our townships and business districts, vendor management is one aspect. We have to work along with other agencies to see, to actually look after infrastructure building. When you look, for example, at Halfway Tree in terms of accommodating the number of taxis and buses and so on, we have to plan and move ahead to ensure that as we go along, there's this organization that will help us to see an orderly society.
It is a difficult job, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Tell me, how do you see your branch, the JCF and PSTEB, how do you see your role in helping Jamaica to maintain an orderly society, thus fostering an environment for growth?
Well, it is a very important entity. In fact, we would regard it as the flagship as it relates to interfacing with the public and actually giving the public the confidence that the police is out there. When you look at their dress and so on, they are bright, they are out there, they are expected to be seen, they are expected to be active, and when they do so in a professional manner, the results are evident. As we speak, persons are really very happy about how we have demonstrated professionalism and effectiveness, especially with the back to school and so on. And so we continue to work towards being that beacon that can lead the way in terms of giving the JCF and Jamaica the kind of face that it requires to go to the future.
We are seeing some new initiatives on the police. For example, recently when we had a strike, you took the children to school, the students to school. You know, you can see you helping people to do, work on their car if it's broken down or so. So really the police is really doing a new thing. Tell me, it's 1 year later, what's the way forward for PSTEB?
Well, the way forward is continue to develop the brand, continue to be better at what we do. Of course, technology, equipping ourselves, training, that is very important. We recognize that. We also have to ensure that we listen to what the public says, because service is important. That is what a national police force is about. We also recognize that it is not about enforcement, but a modern police force taking into consideration social and economic development. So we see ourselves as participating in all these issues, and we believe that we can make a significant difference going forward.
And our role, how can we help you?
Well, definitely. Firstly, we want Jamaica to recognize that the JCF and, of course, the branch, it is theirs. And so we want them to conform with the rule of law. We want them to police us as well. We want them to recognize that it's very important that when things are not going good, they are able to speak about it and to act on it as well, contribute as a citizen towards helping us to be orderly and to be lawful.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Mackenzie. This has been Get the Facts with our guest, Gary Mackenzie, Superintendent of Police of the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB. Until next time, I'm Rose Campbell. Take care.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep we
eat.
island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
There's a lot more to Jamaica than just what meets the eye. I had always loved art. It was my first love. It set me free. I did some artwork for the Half Moon Hotel. And shortly after, 14 guests showed up at my gate thinking I had a gallery up here. And that gave me the idea that I need to have a gallery. And so the guests would come up, they see the garden, ask if they could go for a walk, but everybody came back saying, we should make something of it. It was inspiring and they described it in many ways.
When they come here, we give each guest a welcome and a little history about the place before they take the tour. There's one word that they repeat over and over again. Love. They feel love in this place.
One guest we had in the early years was from Germany. And he said, you know, I spent 5 days on the beach looking up in these hills and just wondered what was life like up there. And he found us. People who travel want to experience. And this is what we try to offer, an experience.
Every guest that leaves this place, say it, I came here as a guest and I felt like family.
Yeah.
Come to Jamaica and be your family.
We all have a story to tell. Mine is just one of millions that are out there. And they're all good.
Tamara Blake will be bestowed the Badge of Honor for Gallantry for her role in ensuring the safe return of an abducted infant from the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. Check this out.
This is a story that could have gone many ways. But Tamara Blake stepped in and turned an unfortunate tale into a real-life happy ending. On February 5, 2019, through her vigilant and intuitive actions, Miss Blake averted the unlawful registration of birth of a stolen infant, and as a result, he was returned to his rightful parents. She is referred to as the lawyer in the family. She admits too to having an inquisitive mind.
I've been a practicing investigator since I was a child, so I guess it is just playing out on the job.
When the now convicted woman sat beside her and began sharing a story of why the baby she held in her arms was unregistered, she simply said, "This not add up."
I think the whole thing was just divinely orchestrated because I was not supposed to be at this location on the given day. I was advertising for my colleague who was not at work. And it so happened that Miss French turned up for registration of the infant. And as a result of her coming to do the registration, not providing the information adequately that was required, you know, it raised a few red flags, and the rest of it is history. Well, I'm just happy that, you know, the family has been reunited. I'm happy to know that I could have played a part.
Some say the guilty woman met the wrong birth registrar. Miss Blake is a passionate government worker who takes her job seriously.
I am a public sector worker, a proud public sector worker. I started working March of 2004, at which point I was a customer service representative, and then I was promoted to administrative assistant, and then I was in the midst of administrative assistant / supervisor for different departments. and then I am currently a registration officer. I'm the person responsible for ensuring that all births that occurs within the hospital ambit is registered. I look forward to coming to work every day. I love my job. Yes, I do. Well, you know, a lot of persons come to the RGD thinking that when you come, you're going to be getting a hard time, whether it's for birth or death registration. That's what I can speak to. That's my portfolio. And when you leave, you know, with a smile, or when you're going to say, "What, you finished already?" You know, that gives me a oomph, because when a customer is happy, that makes me extremely happy. I say to the persons who are out there who are of the thought process that it's okay to come to RGD and mislead the workers there into thinking that, you know, this baby is not registered, or in whatever scenario there is, please desist from doing so. Because the more you step out in doing these things, is the more stringent the measures are going to be, because we are eradicating and we are mitigating these acts. And I want Jamaica to help me to fight against the crime of abduction of our children. I want Jamaica to help me to make sure that babies are not missing. We don't lose our babies to abduction.
For now, she turns her attention to National Heroes Day, getting ready to gracefully accept the Badge of Honor for Gallantry, for an act of courage and bravery in identifying and reporting the registration of birth of a stolen infant. She is one of only 3 persons receiving the honor this year.
I am still in disbelief at this moment, because it's not something that I was looking forward to. Didn't do what I do because I wanted to be rewarded. I am looking forward to getting my steps right. To collect an award, not for myself, but to be collecting this award of gallantry on behalf of the agency, on behalf of the nation. The world has been looking on, and this is just putting the icing on the cake to say, okay, it has happened. So I'm very happy to be receiving, to be the recipient to collect the award on behalf of the agency.
$650 students, $100 million. How are they connected? Through the Hospitality and Tourism Management Program offered at 32 high schools across the island. It's a 2-year program to equip future tourism workers with the requisite skills to meet the demands of the growing global industry. Graduates will be certified by the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute and received an associate degree from a local college. We're building a resilient tourism industry through human capital development.
Thanks for watching another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Send your feedback on today's show to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. Also, follow us on our social media pages. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Download our app on your Apple and Android devices, and you can also visit our website at jis.gov.jm for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.